Babes Unscripted. Welcome back, babes. In today's episode, we're tackling the art of intentional planning and living. While this episode was recorded in December, it couldn't be released at a more perfect time. By this time of year, most people have completely given up on their resolutions and their goals. So join us in this special episode and get back on track. Get ready for a jam-packed episode filled with practical tips and empowering insights to help you manifest your dreams and achieve your goals. I have been re-engaging in this practice where every day I look at a list of words and adjectives that I write down, some being love, clarity, alacrity, integrity, grace. And I look at this list of words and I say to myself, what is it that I want to be the possibility of today? Right? So that's something that I learned as a course supervisor. A while ago, I used to be a course supervisor with a self-development organization called Landmark Worldwide. And before we would put on courses, we would ask ourselves, like, what are we going to be the possibility of so that we can show up in that possibility? And I just wanted to share that with you guys because I feel like it's truly made a difference. Something that has kind of been happening to me that I wanted to share is that I was making all these to-do lists, right? And I was trying to achieve all these goals. And it's not that I'm not achieving them now, but what would happen is when maybe something didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, or a monkey wrench got thrown at me and somehow, like, plans got sabotaged, or I was the saboteur of my own my own plan, I would get upset. And so re-engaging with this process really still had me move forward, right? Because just because I didn't get, let's say, the three things that I needed to get done, my three most important tasks, which is another thing that I love to do, right? I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, your MITs, and you put 3 important tasks and you get that done immediately. But you know what? Sometimes life doesn't happen that way. Right. So, so that's what I have been up to. For me, it's been a very self-reflective place, right? So that's something that I've been doing.
I love it.
Yeah. I think that there's 2 times in the year where I like to kind of just reflect and change. And
I was going to say we're towards the end of the year, so this is a perfect time, I was going to say.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, most people do make New Year's resolutions, right? But I usually like to start way earlier than that, right? And just like reflect on what worked in your year and what didn't work, right? And that's one thing that was not working for me, was just like frustration, anger, because I put on my Instagram that this year, basically 2023 said to me, but did you die though?
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Like, but did you die? Like, it's been one of those years, right? Where there's just been so much that's happened. For any of you who kind of have been following me on Instagram, I had a ACL surgery this year and meniscus surgery. And so that kind of put a monkey wrench in a lot of my plans. Amongst other challenges. And that's something that I really had to kind of let go of control over, right? Like sometimes things are just not going to go the way they want to go. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So that exercise, I just wanted to invite you guys into that practice and just, you know, write down a whole bunch of different things that call to you, right? Love, peace, joy, laughter, playfulness, things that you want to be the possibility of. And then you pick those things and then you just allow the universe to like fill those gaps.
I love it.
What kind of planning do you do? Do you have any kind of to-do list or kind of
I'm
intention?
glad you mentioned that. I'm actually working on Tony Robbins' RPM plan, which is rapid planning method. Where one of the planners that I purchased from his on his website is the RPM, the whole program. So it has a journal and it also has a vision planner. And I love the vision planner and a life planner. So it kind of takes you through vision boarding, driving forth different exercises. And like here's, the first exercise is where I'm just writing down what my perfect life wants, how I want to run my life and things like that, right? And then 1 year results. So that's for next year. These are all the things I want to do. So I already started using that. And then we're gonna make it visible with kind of like a vision board here. You see, I already started. I put like I want my second book. I drew it because I didn't have any like cute stickers, but that's why I left it blank because I want to put like cute stuff and stickers. So I put here, make your life a masterpiece. I am creative because sometimes I get in my head and I say I'm not creative. I'm not like creative enough. I haven't
Mm.
even though I know I could draw. I'm an artist, but sometimes I get in my head and I say, oh, I don't think I can come up with like something really creative. But I'm like, yes, I can. Like, why I keep saying I can't? Like, stop it. You know what I mean? So I am loved and I'm confident, right? Because that's something that, I want to be next year. Now I am the voice and then I'm
I love that.
inspiring because I aspire to inspire. That's my new thing. I aspire to inspire women.
That's
So that's what I'm doing
beautiful.
now. I'm basically going through the RPM program, which is, putting the magnificent seven and just adding different things like purpose and vision. So, and
So
then
RPM stands for Rapid Planning Method, correct?
yes,
Can
I
you
think I
explain
mentioned it.
can you
Yeah,
explain
so
to us how that works?
it's a Tony Robbins process. It's supposed to be sort of like not a to-do list. You write down everything that you want to achieve, right? So there's a daily tasks, there's weekly RPM, there's also like a whole month RPM or 90 days. But so essentially what you do is you take a list of things that you want to do and you follow their method here. And then you chunk it. Like you basically like if you're doing research, anything that you want to research, you want to research for food and then like there's something else that you want to do, you have to research for a book. So even though they're like you're talking about food and then book, you can still put chunk it together because it's under research. So you could probably use one block an hour of your schedule just to do those two research, right? That's essentially what it is. So all the tasks that are similar, you chunk them together and you don't so that it doesn't feel overwhelming to you at the end. You're like, oh my God, I'll do all these, the whole to-do list. No, chunk it and then put it on your calendar once you go through the process of chunking. So that's pretty
Yes.
much it.
And that seems like you can get a lot more done in a smaller amount of time, huh?
Yes. So then yeah, absolutely. And I started, so it doesn't feel overwhelming to you. And then I started doing my calendar. Here's my January, February. And I love because this whole program, his journals come with like stickers, and I'm a sucker for stickers and stuff like that.
Me
So
too.
I
I
love it,
love
and
stickers.
I love it. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. It's just focusing on this because I have a results coach from Tony Robbins, and I've had these journals, and I've been journaling because journaling is very important, especially for your brain, just to take that dump everything out. Your brain doesn't know the difference between, when you're holding it or you're talking to someone or you're putting it in here, right? So that's why even though if you can't afford therapy, journaling is like a therapist. Okay. Journal in the morning, journal at night. And I
I
love it
agree.
because Tony puts let me show you. Tony put a white to journal, right? And he put my success in life will be based on my ability to give, not my ability to take. I will it. I will it. This is from 1978 that he wrote this. And he's been doing a lot of journaling, and I'm like, hell yeah, like I'm journaling too. So I've been using this to journal, to write notes. It's whatever you want it to be. Like I put here, I will be 150 pounds by March 1st. So like whatever you want, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing right now, getting into the RPM system.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
What about you?
So I actually, one of the words that I put on my board, I wanted to talk about a little word of the day. That's something that I'd like
Ooh.
to bring into our podcast because I love
Mhm.
vocabulary. I love learning new words, and I thought today I would bring up a made up word.
Mm, okay.
All right. So today's word of the day is swagic.
Swagic. Oh, I love it.
Yes. So swagic is part swag and part magic.
I
So,
love
as some of
it.
you may know, I am all about creating magic in your life and creating magic vibes. And so, um, that's something that I'm feeling that I want to embody, right? I am looking forward into this new year, and I've really been asking myself some questions. What is it that I want to leave behind?
Mhm.
What is it that I want to bring with me into 2024? Right? And um I wanted to bring something creative, right? Speaking of creativity, like you were just
Love
talking about,
it. Yes.
right?
Wow. So aligned.
So,
I love it.
yeah, I
And
just
we
kind of
listen, guys, we did not rehearse this. This is like off the cuff. So this is amazing how
unscripted.
it's, yeah, it's unscripted, and it's like aligning. You see how it's aligning, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so it's like who am I going to be the possibility of, like I was talking before, right? So
Mhm.
I want to just like bring that, like that flavor, that juice, that that fully self-expressed part of myself, that swagger, right? And
Yes.
combine it with some magic, right? Be that real
Oh,
alchemist of my life, right? And just do it with some style, right?
I
Some
love it.
unique catness.
Mhm. I love it.
Right?
I like
So,
it. I love the word.
yeah, so diving deeper into that, right? Tell me, Brenda, right?
Yeah.
Let's self-reflect for a moment.
Okay.
Look back at 2023 and tell me, what is it that you want to leave behind?
The first thing that pops into my mind is the doubting. I think sometimes, and I know you mentioned it before, because this is why I love our relationship, because we're transparent. No tenemos pelos en la lengua. We're gonna say it. We don't have no, like we say in Spanish, no tenemos pelos en la lengua. That
We
means we
don't
don't have
have
no
hair on our
hair.
tongue.
No, we don't. And what that essentially means is like no filter, right? We just say it like it is. Which I like honesty, right? And sometimes I'll be like, well, I don't even, because I'm not that good, or there's just like doubt all the time. And sometimes like I went to a group and I met some beautiful ladies from New Jersey, right? They were all in UHPW, and it was a Brazilian one. She's beautiful. And she basically kind of resonated with me when I'm like, well, maybe I'm not enunciating things correctly. Maybe I'm not using the word correctly in English. There are just so many things that come into my mind, but I'm like, you know what? I don't care. And she basically said the same thing. Like she saved a life that day. One, that
Mm.
she the story that she told us, she saved a life. The lady was going to commit suicide, and she like just brought some light to her life. And she's like, you know what? I'm not gonna shut up. I don't care if my English is not like really good. I'm gonna still say what I have to say, right? Or maybe I didn't articulate correctly, but I mean, I know I'm smart. I know that, I mean, I come on. I got my MBA and I got, I have an amazing job, but sometimes there are always these doubts that come into your head. So that I'm leaving behind. That's like the first thing. And another thing is yo-yo dieting. I gotta leave that behind, girl. Like I got to stop the
Yes.
yo-yo dieting. Hate it. And I never used to be like this, but I think during and after the pandemic, whenever I had that situation with, the anxiety and things like that, and the lockdown affected me, and my mentality has just been different when it comes to food and dieting.
Hmm.
I just feel like I've been more free. And I just said, I guess I gave myself that space that I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna eat whatever I want. But at the same time, I don't want to eat whatever I want because I want to take care of myself. So I have to get back to where I was or even better. So that's what I want to leave behind, those two things.
I love that. And I love this is kind of like the perfect segue before we move into what we want to bring with us in 2024, which is my next question for you. But that was actually a perfect segue to kind of just recap um a little bit about our last podcast episode with
Oh,
our
yes.
friend Joclan, that is a codependency coach for women. And we touched upon um about eating habits, right? And you mentioned a little bit about how you had this special relationship with pizza.
Oh my God. So if you guys listen to the last podcast with Yoklan or interview with her, yeah, like, it just came up, the whole pizza situation where, I was experiencing domestic violence in my family, and like I wasn't getting beat, you know what I mean? But I was witnessing it, and I'm 15 years old, and I witnessed it before. And I'll probably tell that story another time, but
Yes.
that was like the second relationship that my mom was in, and it was happening. And I had no one to talk to. Like I didn't cry, but I always felt this knot in my throat that, like, I know that's me crying for help, and I couldn't. I was angry. And then when I was working at this pizzeria in my local area, I just basically like would eat pizza. And I think I gained that summer like at least a good 20 pounds of
Mm,
just not caring. I locked myself in the closet and I ate that pizza. And talking to Joe Klein, I kind of like remember that codependency, it's not being codependent on a partner. I mean, it is, but it's not always that. It's also could be food. It could manifest itself through other things. So
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And I the reason why I bring that up is because it seemed to be something that hit home for both of us and Joclan, and I feel like a lot of women can relate to that. So in the last episode, I talked a little bit too about how when I was younger, I can remember my first episode with overeating, right? And it
Mhm.
was it was about taking control back, and it was about comfort. And we don't realize how when we're younger, how strong these neural associations can be, that our
Big time.
brain
Yes.
truly makes these connections with something that gives us a resource in the moment, right? Where
Hmm.
we we're using it to survive, right? But then as we get older, and we may have worked in the moment, right? But as we get older, we really want to thrive, right? And those tools that we had no longer serve us. And I think that for many women, we do that with food. And I know for myself, I was talking about how you have a special relationship with pizza, and I have to tell you that is one of my favorite foods too, even though I don't really eat it that much. I do when I have a cheat day, I will have some pizza. But my special relationship is with chocolate.
Oh, I like chocolate too,
Right?
but yeah.
Yeah, chocolate sweets are my downfall. When I am stressed, when I have anxiety, when
Yeah.
life is really coming at me, like I will go to the store and go to town on sweets.
Listen, I like 70% dark chocolate.
I love the
That
way you said
way.
that.
Minimum 65, baby.
I mean, chocolate actually, And I think that may be one of the reasons why I go to chocolate, but chocolate actually does have a chemical effect on you where it does make you feel more in love,
True.
right?
This is
So it
true.
does change the chemicals in your body, and you do need a lot of it. And I tend to have a lot of it.
I can eat a lot of chocolate. Like, listen, you're not the only one, okay? I
Yeah.
just bought a bag. I forgot what it is, but like I said, Chiradelli. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Giselle,
Okay.
yes, yes.
I'm Latina. I say things Chiradelli. So
Love it.
it was so good. I can eat that whole bar, like all those, like the little balls. Yeah, I like the little
Mm,
balls. The
yeah, the
balls of
truffles.
chocolate. Oh my God, Lord Jesus,
Mm.
give me that ball. Give me
We
them
want the
balls of
we want the
chocolate.
balls, baby.
Ooh, no, listen, it's so good. And it has like that soft, like I like to just put it in my mouth and just let them sit there.
Yum.
Let it melt. And then when you bite through it like
Yeah.
that, it just comes out like ooh, so good.
I love
Maybe
it.
we should do like another podcast where we're doing ASMR and we're like eating chocolate.
Oh, I listen, you don't
Are
gotta
we
tell me
down or
twice.
what?
You don't gotta tell me twice. I will eat all the chocolate balls with you, baby.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Balls deep in the chocolate.
Yes.
We're talking about chocolate, so you guys better get your hand out of your gutter.
Oh.
Get your
Um,
head out of the gutter.
so yes, so for 2023, I also am going to leave behind not chocolate and not
Mírate, no
particular
vas a dejar
food.
el chocolate. Ok, ya veo.
I'm not going to leave behind a particular food, but what I am going to leave behind is using it as a tool to
Oh,
cope.
I love that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no longer going to be a coping mechanism for me, which
Beautiful.
means I have 2 more weeks to make it a coping
I
mechanism.
can't. You know what? I can't with you. I'm leaving. Bye.
That
It's
means
like,
I got 2 more weeks to eat
ay,
all the
Dios
balls.
mío. Ay, Dios mío. You got to do it now, ma'am. You got to do it now. What is it now?
Oh my goodness. So yeah. So that I'm leaving behind, and I also want to leave behind anger. I think that, I want to give myself some credit because um I feel like most people don't know a lot of like the struggles that I go through, right? When I'm with somebody, like I'm usually the friend that comes over and makes you laugh. And
I don't see anger.
well, that's why I want to leave it behind because, when I'm with friends and family, it's like, I have this saying when I walk in the door, I always go, the party's here, right? That's
Yeah,
from
no, that's
Jersey
what I
Shore.
mean. It's like when you
Yeah.
share that with me, I was kind of surprised because, and this is why I tell people like you can't, it's like, and I hate it's off topic, but like even suicidal people, right? You just don't know what someone's going
What's
through.
going on, right? Behind
Right.
closed doors. And my anger shows up exactly then. It shows up when
Uh-huh.
nobody's around, and I've been having I guess a lot of frustrations, right? I talked about a little bit about my ACL journey, and then there's been some other things going on. I had an aunt that passed away, and
Mhm.
um there's just some things going on with like her inheritance. It's just making me angry, and just a lot of other little things that kind of snowballed from frustration
Yeah.
into upset and then into anger, where it's just like, thank the Lord Jesus I have an otterbox, because
Yeah.
I will chuck that phone across the room like no
Ay, Dios
kidding.
mío.
Yeah.
La
um
tigra's coming out.
exactly. So yeah, I mean, I think that touching up upon what we talked with Yoklan also about, she mentioned how that she was giving a lot of love to herself. That was part of her recovery
I love
process,
it.
just
Yeah.
giving a lot of peace and love and joy to herself. And I realized that the energy that I give to other people, just that happiness, that joy, that light, that laughter, I have to give it back to myself. Right. And when it's not that I'm never going to feel angry or frustrated, but I can't live there. I think that part of the mental process that's there is I feel like I'm going to like um like stress myself into success. I'm going to anger myself into success, right? Like that's the way I'm going to push myself to do something, right? Like I'm going to push myself to change. And I also do the same thing with guilt, right? I think that guilt is something that moves me into a place of self-reflection. So if I do something or say something to somebody or do something wrong, I'll feel really guilty about it, and that's what kind of just moves me to think and reflect and then change. So I am going to be able to self-reflect in 2024 with leaving the guilt behind. So guilt, anger, and using food as a coping mechanism are what I'm
Yes.
going to leave behind.
And for what it's worth, I'm gonna share this with you. When we went to UPW, Texas, Tony said something that has been stuck in my head for this entire time. Okay. And when you mention anger, he mentioned, remember when he did a meditation and he said laugh, because the brain doesn't know the difference
Yes,
between you're laughing at a joke versus you're laughing, right? At just because you want to just make yourself laugh. And the same goes with anger. Like, so take that concept and be like, whenever you get angry and you start thinking like, wait a minute, I'm turning on my nervous system for no reason. Okay. Because I'm angry at what? What am I angry about? So maybe that can help, kind of like bring it down a little bit, because you're kind of turning on the nervous system. You don't want your brain to learn that. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. Absolutely. You bring up a really good point, because I am actually a laughter yoga leader, and the technique that they teach us is basically to just make up the stupidest things that are just not even funny, but eventually when you're laughing at it in a fake laugh,
mhm.
it eventually turns into a real laugh.
Yeah.
Right?
And remember, everybody laughed like crazy at the
Yes.
meditation. That was so much fun.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm going to take that on. I am going to rediscover my laughter yoga practice. Thank you,
Okay.
Brenda.
You're welcome. Welcome.
Amazing.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, that's what I'm going to take with me. Now let's moving on to what I'm going to take with me, right? That's what I'm going to take with me to 2024. I'm going to take laughter
Oh,
and
okay.
playfulness.
Oh, I
Yes.
like it. I like it. Okay.
Yeah. What are you taking with you?
Ah, goodness gracious. Oh, I know what I'm gonna take. First thing that popped in my head, because we're gonna go with the light, is celebrating my wins. Oh my God. Speaking of celebrating my wins, I celebrated that I basically um uploaded. I started the process of uploading my book, and we got very drunk with my sisters. Okay, we got so messed up. Okay, and I said, listen, I said celebrate, like we got fudged up. I said, oh my God, like you're calling Juan, Juan. That's what we say. You're calling Juan. We're like throwing up, right? Juan.
Oh, that's so
Did you
cute.
call? I said, did you call Juan last night? So, meaning, did you throw up? And
Yes.
so, I'm gonna celebrate myself and every win. Like I launched, finally hit that button, submit. So I'm gonna celebrate that. You know what I mean? So going
Yes.
forward, every little small thing, accomplishment that I do, I don't care how small. I woke up this morning, celebrate. But for me, every little small win, I'm gonna celebrate.
I
Taking
love
that.
that.
I'm taking that to 2024.
Yes. Amazing. So we have our celebrations, we have our fun, our playfulness. Anything else you want to take
Yes.
with you into 2024?
Oh my goodness. I can't think of anything else right now. Like it doesn't come up. I mean, maybe the the journaling. I want to continue that, the
Yes.
RPM. Actually, let's do that. Since I started the RPM now in December, and it was late in the year, I'm taking RPM method next year, and my goal is to do it for the entire year.
That is beautiful. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
All right. This actually was an amazing episode for
I
us.
loved it.
Um,
Yes, it's so much
it,
fun. Thank you for tuning in to Babes Unscripted. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode and found it both entertaining and insightful.
If you want more unfiltered and unscripted conversations, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified when we post new episodes. Remember, life is unscripted, and we're here to embrace every moment of it with you. Until next time, stay unfiltered, stay authentic, and stay fabulous. This is your host, Brenda Paz and Kat, signing off, Babes Unscripted. Bye now.